Ooh, gotta put my shades on. The future is so bright for Chainlink and so many different projects the government just announced this morning. We got breaking news we're going to be diving into in a pretty deep manner to find out where all the blockchains are that are going to be involved in this massive U.S. government blockchain rollout. Welcome to Discover Crypto in the Blockchain Basement, folks. The future is so damn bright. I gotta wear shades. We are literally looking at a private company that has found the seat at the table of the most powerful country on the planet, and even Swift, the largest payment processor on the planet, both working with the same organization. Buckle up. This is going to be an insane bull market. Honestly, I don't want to quantify this as just a bull market. This is a change to money and communications as we know it, and we are in early on this. Absolutely thrilled. I was just shocked. Isaac, you're in your studio.
Oh my gosh. Get a load of that. We're back, baby.
Man. How you doing,
We are
Isaac?
so back. I'm doing quite fabulous. You know, I was a little under the weather. Still here, still working, putting out work. Got the studio finally set up. And I'm ready to go over these charts, go over the market, and continue to look at Drift. As it's still up.
I know, man. I know. The last few days, it's been pumping hard. We're going to be looking at Drift. You got a lot to be celebrating for the Solana ecosystem right now. And also, Solana might have a little secret weapon up their sleeve in terms of finding a seat at this incomplete overhaul of data transfer as we know it. The government is literally ready to open the doors to blockchain. This is so crazy, so insane to see happening, but it's here. I'm glad to bring this information to you on this beautiful Thursday morning. Now, if you have, and also just side notes, other things we're going to be covering that was just announced right before we went live. Looks like there might be an emergency Federal Reserve meeting tomorrow. So we're going to be taking a look at that, what it all means. But make sure to follow me at Druth Crypto here, folks. I am on Twitter at Druth Crypto. You can find us on Pump as well. We're streaming out there, Jeet and Blockchain Basement. Going live to Pump. We're also streaming live to the Avalanche ecosystem in the mornings. It's been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun doing it. Two totally different, kind of social ecosystems of crypto users. Totally different approaches, but you got to respect the hustle. Now, speaking of hustle, these markets are hustling up and down on us right now. They're hustling us if we're looking for a definitive up or down movement right now, because we are in Chop City. Chop zone. Now, Hyperliquid, big move down. Huge shout out if you got the call in the Discord there, Discover Investments Group Discord. Absolutely insane call. Honestly, the traders in there, and particularly John, one of the best traders on the planet. Huge shout out to you, man. Bro, still moving up. Link had a very exciting moment this morning, but honestly, I think this is just the beginning for what is turning into a much longer term vision that I've been piecing together for where Chainlink can go, and really how high this asset class can really reach over the course of the next few years, as it looks like it's being adopted at large. Isaac, I'm trying not to be too pompous, but God, I feel a lot of conviction, a lot of happiness for having looked down the right path for what's here. RWAs, stablecoin supercycle, governments leaning in and adopting blockchain, S&P 500 hitting new all-time highs, Ethereum ready to go to the moon, Bitcoin already floating around the moon, and altcoins are ready to have their turn. Major times ahead, folks. So just be prepared. It's going to be a volatile year here. Now, where we're at in terms of coin market cap, let's check it out. Altcoin index currently sitting at a 51. Most market participants thinking that this is slightly skewed towards altcoins right now, but honestly, it's a flat line. It's a flat line on altcoin index. It's a flat line on fear and greed. Markets are in shock, in disbelief. Cannot believe what they're seeing. These markets are holding themselves up at levels that we were really hoping to find just a few months ago. And now we are sitting at $4,400 Ethereum, and it's just like, that's no big deal. XRP and the people within XRP are losing their minds because they are down 1.5%, and they are under the $3 peg that they wish to stay on. Now, Solana, Isaac, I've been, hats off on the drift call. Solana, It's been pumpy. It's been uppity. Okay. Drift. We got to go look at drift real quick, real fast. It's had some moments over the past few days here. Isaac, you've climbed up about 25% on the week. Some auxiliaries to Solana definitely waking up. Now, Isaac, do you have an exit plan for drift? Like, because we just saw the pump to $2 and say 60 cents. It came and went very, very fast. Very, very,
very quickly.
So are you going to wait for that, or what's your plan on this?
If it could hit that $2.60 level out of nowhere, if it continues its pattern right now, slowly chopping back up after a long chop just sideways for a couple of weeks, I think we could hit that again. I think we can go even higher than that. Not even just how the same speed or velocity, but
it's 175 days. It's been chopping since that time.
Couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
just a couple weeks. So yeah, I'm a true and tried holder. I should have took profits when we did shoot up like we did, but yeah. I was living the highs of that day.
I know. Okay? I know. They take hold. I Genius Maximus this out of my portfolio. You know, I did it at the right time, but honestly, you're sitting on this delicious low entry point bag. Very, very nice work. This thing is at about 63 cents right now. I think a lot of juice is going to come to Solana. Actually, I think Solana is just now kind of reawakening. The market's shaking off the psyop that it's just this early blow off top cycle. Solana's coming in right about $200, but this looks like the mother of all cup and handles to me. It really does. You know, so in Solana's performance, I'd be honestly shocked, but still selling if I saw it hitting that $400 mark. It is a large market cap right now, so we got to acknowledge that. It's a number 6 market cap at $112 billion. I think Solana's movements, I think are, you know, they definitely have 3x potential from where it sits. $600 is very, very achievable. It's just a very large market cap, right? So, you know, holding Solana and being a long-term believer in it really pays off, obviously, from low entry points. But now, you know, let's see here. We're going to draw out the cup and handle line. My brother has to see it. All right, let's go in there. Let's get into the charts here, and let's draw on some Solana charts. First, we got to start off on Bitcoin. We're losing ground. We're falling. We are falling lower. Actually hitting some zones. I might have to jeet along in here while we're live. Now, I want to go to Solana. I'm getting distracted by Bitcoin. Is it? I always should be. USDT. Bam. All right. So on the larger time frames is where I have to look at this general pattern here. I'll delete this horrible rainbow atrocity. Now, measure this bad boy right about to like the brim there. And apply this to the midpoint, kind of breakout spot. I mean, and this is very conservative, but just general uppity target would be just under 400, you know, $350. You know, if you want to get real as high as you can, speculate within reason, not on logarithmic chart, you're looking at like 366. I still think that Solana has the juice in the tank to double from here, though. I really do. And on the weekly time frames, look at how aggressive and how beautiful that money flow is swooping to the upside. Absolutely gorgeous movement by money flow right there. So honestly, it does kind of look like systems are a go for a Solana pump to be in line, but we got to watch out for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still driving the markets, still running the markets, and we're going to have extra chaos, obviously, this week with the Fed. It's not going to stop. It's either going to be Trump or Jerome Powell crashing out and the market's crashing at least once a week, kind of resetting. In this last Bitcoin reset, though, we hit those targets we were expecting full and well. And now this is actually on the weekly time frame turned into a large unattended to wick, right? On a large unattended to wick that's been eaten up. And I actually want to look at this on the 4-hour here. So there's a few things coming into confluence. It's this $107,000 support zone. That was the main spot I had to watch out for if we lost 111.6. Now we haven't necessarily completely lost 111.6, But should we break below that level, if I'm a betting man, I'd be looking for, something like this. You hit 111. If you break it, it's probably going to be a bumpy ride down to this zone here. Like 107 is a spot that if we lose our current levels, I'd be watching out for in terms of trading. Honestly, is it too late to buy Bitcoin is not even in my vocabulary. I'm always wanting more Bitcoin. And we have this. The money flow is trying to generally swoop out of the red and back into the green on the 4 hours. So news aside, charts aside, we stay based on the charts here. That's what I'm looking at on the charts. Liquidation levels are very split right now. It was a battle this morning, and Bitcoin decided to go and grab that lower level liquidity. And now we have even more liquidity, more longs hammering in. Kind of scary to put in a long right now, looking at the amount of liquidity, the magnet to the downside that we're looking at right now. Makes me just want to take a pause, right? Makes me just want to take a pause on longing, maybe potentially even looking at shorting some overextended projects. And a huge shout out to Hal Finney. May 4th of 1956 to August 28th of 2014. Shout out to you, Hal Finney. This is a remake Michael Saylor did. The man who first received Bitcoin from Satoshi and showed us the way. I think he could have chosen a better AI for this, honestly. Kind of looks like a cartoon. Kind of looks like a Pixar cartoon a little bit. So, I think with however many billions of dollars, maybe pay for the upgrade on ChatGPT there. Now, $3.6 trillion JP Morgan, the bank that was telling you that Bitcoin is garbage, is going to zero, stay away from it. Now they say Bitcoin is undervalued versus gold, right? They're comparing Bitcoin to gold, saying that Bitcoin is the one that's undervalued and actually has better upside. Gold's current market cap is at I think it's over $20 trillion. I think let's look at what is the market cap of gold? I think it's $22 trillion.
23 trillion.
How much is it? 23?
I think so.
Okay.
Take a guess.
Let's see here. You're taking a guess, 23? All right. Let's see here. So it's ranging from 20 trillion to 25 trillion. Give me an answer. Oh, okay. So it's 23.2 trillion. Yeah, good job, Isaac. Pow.
I'll take it.
Oh, wait, I have the thing here. Hold on.
I don't know if they work though.
Yeah, it does. Does it?
Hey, I didn't hear anything.
All right. Well, too bad.
Okay.
Good guess, though. Good guess. $23 trillion. Now, if Bitcoin were to accomplish a $20 trillion market cap, that would send the price of Bitcoin to around $1 million a token. So we're talking about gold being nipped at its heels in terms of market cap and potential competition with Bitcoin. Now, it's kind of insane to think about $1 million Bitcoin. That is way up here, right? I mean, when you really back up the chart and you look at where Bitcoin would be if it has the same market cap as gold, there's a little bit of upside there. There's a little bit of upside there in the long term. So, and this is what's playing into all of the news and the massive amount of information I get to dive into today, which I'm excited to do about Chainlink. Another prediction come true, thanks to yours truly, leaning in for years into Chainlink. But yeah, I think there's going to be some projects that stand the test of time, that rise. And the projects that we see right now in their current state, if they do have staying power and they do continue to move on into 2028, 2030 timeframe, I mean, these market caps are going to be so much insanely higher if they continue on their path and they don't lose sight. So that's where the excitement in picking these tokens right now is. For me, it's buying private sector tokens of organizations that literally stand to shake up the entire industry of communication, internet, and commerce as we know it. Now, this is where the fun, the crazy moon math can come into play here for sure, right? Obviously, there's crazy moon math you can do. But when it really comes down to it, man, if you're looking at what Chainlink is doing right now, honestly, I have the exact, estimated market cap that Chainlink could accomplish just by a very, very small integration with just Swift in and of itself. crazy things may be around the corner for us, you guys. And it's really knocking at our door. The U.S. Department of Commerce came out today and said that they are cementing their role as the blockchain capital of the world here in the United States. These are the words. It's only fitting that Commerce Department and President Donald Trump, the crypto president, publicly release economic statistical data on the blockchain. We are making America's economic truth immutable and globally accessible like never before, cementing our role as a blockchain capital of the world. And everybody has to admit that a 3.3% GDP growth is impressive. These are the words from Howard Lutnick. Okay, so these are, Howard Lutnick behind the 21 Capital organization that's competing with Strategy on their Bitcoin holdings. The same guy who is basically told you that he's always buying Bitcoin. Now he's in, charge of movements like this within the U.S. government. These are the pieces of the puzzle that we needed to see come together to actually make an insane bull market come to fruition for these projects. Like utility tokens have been beaten down. They've been stomped on. They've missed out on a lot of upside as upside's gone to last cycle. It was NFTs and metaverse. This cycle, it's memes and things of that nature. And yeah, I mean, they're going to have their place. But utility tokens, things that are built to actually change the world, are things that I've been invested in for quite some time. And it looks like we're knocking on the door of maybe I might have to buy a bunch of tanks, Isaac. You know what? If I end up being truly correct about Chainlink, probably going to have to buy a fleet of tanks. Other big news for Bitcoin, just in stablecoins. This is worthy of noting here. Tether is going to be launching on RGB, which is bringing native stablecoin support to Bitcoin. A very, very big deal for liquidity. Very, very big deal. Now, what's all the hubbub about? What's the reason for the title? Chainlink securing a major partnership? Shut up. This is all kinds of crypto projects that got in on this, right? Well, wrong. Let's take a look at who got chosen, who's in the in crowd on this movement. Now, this is the post that started the chaos this morning. Chainlink, we're excited to announce Chainlink in the United States Department of Commerce has worked together to bring U.S. government macroeconomic data on chain. Okay, great. What does that really mean? We got to dive in. We got to look a little bit further here. So let's hop on in to the actual write-up of it. And this is all just highlighting, kind of the rollout macroeconomic data on chain, Bureau of Economic Analysis, now moving on to the Chainlink data feed to deliver this information around key U.S. economic data, including real gross domestic product, personal consumption expenditures, the price index, yada, yada, yada. Now, this is something that is not rolled out to all blockchains, which is something worth noting, right? We did have Solana posting about this as well. Solana came out and just highlighted how they have their own Oracle network, Pith network, that's going to help verify economic data on chain, right? So Pith finding itself a tiny little mention, or at least a slight seat at the table, but the inner workings of this, very, very interesting how they came to fruition here. And just a little bit more information on other projects that are going to be rolled into immediately. Data is updated monthly or quarterly as applicable, initially being made available across 10 blockchain ecosystems with the following chains: Arbitrum, Avalanche, Base, Botanics, deep cut there, Ethereum, Linea, Mantle, Optimism, Sonic, and ZK Sync. And we do see some kind of repeating factors here as far as layer twos to Ethereum, like OP, like Arbitrum, like Base, so you definitely have secondary layers. It's largely dominated by Ethereum, but you do have some involvement with Oracle networks such as Pith. Now, this is how this all came about. And I think this matters so much when it understands what I'm investing into. Yeah, right. What is Botanics? Seriously, that was a random one. How Chainlink is working with the U.S. government here in 2025. Link accelerated its work with the U.S. government by meeting with several key officials. And these were those meetings that they kept going back and forth, at least part of them, to Washington, D.C. for, where they're working with regulators to make policy recommendations that accelerated the growth of the blockchain industry. This included meetings with the SEC, several meetings with the SEC, to address their core unanswered questions and be kind of the in-between go-to on information for broker to dealer transfers, agency compliance, etc. They also engaged the SEC Crypto Task Force on the importance of compliance frameworks, highlighting how Chainlink Ace embeds those. So he's, Chainlink's in Washington, D.C. Hey, you have a problem with this? I got a solution for that. Hey, you got a problem with this? I got a solution for that. They're all over the place in Washington, D.C. for the later part of last year. And now we see these coming to fruition. And really, some good mentions here. Additionally, Sergey Nazarov met with Senator Tim Scott, the chairman of the Senate Banking Committee, on the crypto market structure bill and how it would enable the blockchain industry to rapidly grow in the U.S. In July, the White House published that report, the President's Working Group on Digital Asset Markets, that highlighted how Chainlink is critical infrastructure for powering stablecoins, tokenized funds, and on-chain economy. Now, when I see the upside here, it's because I see a stablecoin supercycle building up in the background. I see a demand for crypto, even coming from the likes of the treasury in the US, oddly enough. And the intermediaries, the communicators within this infrastructure being built up are really going to be the main winners. This was that switch we've always heard about. It's going to be flipped somehow. I'm reading exactly how it's being done here. The landmark policy initiative underscored a growing global consensus that Oracle infrastructure is critical for secure, interoperable, and compliance-ready digital assets. So, and this is, you got to highlight it here, and this is a good reminder. During the signing of the Genius Act, a landmark U.S. law established the federal framework for stablecoins, and Chainlink co-founder Sergey joined senior government and digital asset leaders as U.S. President Donald Trump signed that act into law. Literally, Sergey was right next to him as he was signing into law the framework that led us to where we are at now. And I want to know in the chat, do you hold Chainlink? And if so, what was your entry point, man? I've been around crypto for a couple cycles. I've seen many, many projects come and go. They lose velocity. They lose integration. They lose the narrative. Chainlink and Bitcoin and Ethereum are literally, in my mind, the strongest narrative, most entrenched crypto projects on the planet. Let me know in the chat if you hold any Chainlink. I've been known as a Chainlink maxi for quite some time. So, it's kind of a running joke, but it is what it is. Chainlink's not just doing this with governments, you guys. We have Chainlink reserves actually starting up. NASDAQ listed real estate organization and asset manager named Caliper, under the ticker CWD, launched a Chainlink's treasury strategy. Now, looking into this a little bit more, we got to read on. So this is out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Caliper, on again, NASDAQ CWD, a real estate asset manager, announced the board of directors, or the board, has formally approved a new digital asset treasury strategy, or DAT strategy. Ooh. DAT strategy. Nice, nice. I like the name. And adopted a comprehensive digital asset treasury policy. Under the strategy and policy, Caliper intends to allocate a portion of its treasury funds to acquire crypto, specifically Chainlink tokens, which support the Chainlink protocol, and to engage in activities related to the management and the maximization of returns from such digital asset holdings. So this pretty damn big deal, very, very interesting move from a not small organization. Not a small organization. And something also tantalizing that I smell in the air from reading through this connection. This is a real estate industry behemoth. These are the inroads. These are the paths you have to build to really tap that real estate industry. And they're going to do it with that strategy. It all makes sense now. It's all coming clear. Unbelievable. Digital audio tape for musicians. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. I still want to start a band out here. I still want to start a band. I'm going to get some, some guitars and stuff. Maybe I'll get a good amp and stuff. Maybe I'll drive my neighbors nuts. Who knows? Who knows? Now, it is worth noting this isn't just for Chainlink, this government organization connection, right? But it leaves the mind to wander. And so we want to talk about what would the Chainlink market cap actually be if Swift went live in November, like it looks like they planned to, and went with 5% of Swift transactions through CCIP using Chainlink as the token for those transactions of data coming back and forth. It's looking like this is going to be crazy, you guys. This is going to be crazy. This is going to be nuts. And let me know in the chat. What do you think? What do you think the market cap of Chainlink will go to if it hits a 5% use case within the Swift program that it is partnered up to do? Let me know in the chat. I want to know. 13, 16 you got in. Crypto Stevo, can you play this, triangle? Maybe, I guess. Crypto Cody calling the drums. Good drummers are hard to find. All right. The predictions are in. At 130 billion, 175 to 200 billion. Let's do this, boys and girls. Let's do this.
Jesus Christ.
That would hit a $593 billion market cap and a 5% use of Swift Chainlink CCIP network usage. Okay, 5% of Swift transactions. That puts Chainlink, just that action in and of itself, at a $593 billion market cap. Obviously, I have to go do moon math now because that just, you don't have a day unless Drew does some moon math for you. Okay? You just don't have to you don't have a day without Drew doing some moon math. So let's hop on over here. We got to adjust for some, this is actually kind of too crazy to think about here, because think about this, Isaac, at a $200 billion market cap, or let's just start with $100 billion market cap brings you to about $135, $140 chain link, right?
Yeah.
So if we're hitting those freaking, $500, $600 billion market caps, my God, I want to see if I can get this system to work here, because just thinking about it, that actually might get us to, that's got to be over $1,000 a piece, right? It's got to be over.
No, I think a coin perspective is down because I just tried to load it too and it's not working.
Yeah. This, you know what? Let's do this. I'm going to have the answer for you in just a second. All right, let's do this. It'll spit the answer. It'll do some numbers, crunch some numbers for me. AI is your friend. It's great at data. It's great at crunching numbers, tokenomics, all those things. So while that cooks, I also got to give a shout out to Jenna X Crypto, ready to take on the blonde broker. Okay.
No.
Look at this. We got Jenna X Crypto. She won her last fight. I think this is Crypto Fight Night where she's going to fight at. And shout out to Crypto Face, one of the best traders in the biz, giving her some love. Who do you think's going to win? Jenna X. She is feisty, proven to be feisty, or the blonde broker. And I do believe the blonde broker also won her last fight. She's a creator at Avalanche. It's like Avalanche versus XRP. Should I do that? It's Avalanche versus XRP. Avalanche in the blonde corner, XRP in the Jenna X corner here. Who you got winning that one? And also, this is crazy. Conor McGregor has announced that he's secured the required number of parliamentary votes to confirm his candidacy for president of Ireland. Isaac, you voting? If you were in Ireland right now, Isaac.
Oh, totally. Just for the memes by itself. Screw his policies. I just want to see him as the president, bro. That'd be so funny. I would live there. I'd move to Ireland if you got elected.
It looks like you might get your chance. All right. So, and we got an answer for, Chainlink at that level. God, I mean, it's nearly $1,000. It's nearly $1,000. It's $875 at curve, but I got to cross check this number with coin perspective and make sure the tokenomics are correct, but it smells about right. Might actually be a little light, and that's where we're at right now. Like, sure, the crypto markets have pumped a little bit, but we haven't really seen that kind of fever pitch blow off top moment. As I showed at the beginning of the show, we're at a flat line in terms of fear and greed. We're at a flat line in terms of, is it an altcoin season? Is it a Bitcoin season? And now we have the government literally talking about proof of reserves, and now putting GDP information on through Chainlink. Then you have the Swift activity to kick off in November. There's a lot that's leading me to believe to just hold my Chainlink and literally just see what this thing turns into in 5-10 years. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I do it where I cheat all the other altcoins and hold Chainlink into the next cycle. I might just do it, Isaac. I'm kind of getting tempted. I'm kind of getting that forever Chainlink because it's here. They partnered up with it. It's immovable. It's part of government infrastructure in what's being built out. Just so damn bullish. So damn bullish here. Let's see here. It's now Chainlink season. We got to go check out Chainlink's price. I'm yapping so much about Chainlink and the utility and everything that's actually being done, but the price, it's not reflecting that yet. Folks. We had a touch of it. We had a touch of the price action this morning. Okay. We pumped up to about $27. Let's go to a smaller time frame. It was very short-lived, very exciting pump. I mean, we pumped by like 8% in the matter of minutes from that news coming out. Now it's finding some equilibrium. Actually, not looking too bad from a TA perspective, bouncing really nicely off of the center point here. Actually might be one of the trades I start looking at here today. Obviously, the traders in our Discord are giving some savage targets in the short term for Chainlink here. Obviously, as I said, I'm a bag holder. I'm a spot holder. But I mean, that chart is actually getting me kind of enticed to get into. I do want to actually look at the money flow as well and see what the weekly money flow has looked like. Are we getting good upside here? Maybe I should, this Fibonacci sequence, I mean, it is possible to play out to the top side of this is possible on Chainlink. Even without Swift, like the Swift number is just with that. It's without market speculation, anything. But yeah, $300 just on the standard fib extension. Very, very doable in my opinion. I've been investing long enough where, God, I'm going to be tempted when we're getting near $100. This, very aggressive move to the upside. It kind of looks like Solana with that velocity to the upside in terms of the money flow. But we haven't had that breakout moment. Once we breach this $30 mark, guys, there is very little standing in the way of price exploration. There is a very, very short amount of time where trading was going on to and from. And here's the crazy part is 85% of market participants in altcoins last cycle ended up holding them all the way back down to the lows and actually are down right now. You have to take profits. Chainlink is the one that's like, I've been in long enough where I'm going to be over the moon happy if it's hitting $100, but I'm probably going to keep a moon bag. And what I'm cheating into is Bitcoin. I'm not interested in US dollars. I'm not really interested in holding things outside of Bitcoin. They just don't seem very reasonable to me, especially with the amount of monetary printing that is going to have to go on over the course of the next few years here. It's going to get a little weird in terms of inflation. I have my own opinions that if we have time at the end of the show, I will dive into. But there are some key reasons why the Federal Reserve is forced into cutting interest rates sooner than they want. Now, is it good for alts and risk assets? Yes. But is it bad for long-term monetary stability? Also, yes. This is where I have to take the profits, kind of harden my own existence, right? Buying hard goods, Bitcoin, things of that nature that have good staying power. But we are entering into that nasty season of altcoin upside. And with that, we do actually have to go look at Bitcoin dominance because Bitcoin dominance has fell very aggressively, but it is trying to show that it's got some life here. So we have fallen all the way down to 57.6%. Over the course of the last day, we've ticked up by about 1%, but it is obviously showing some stopping power, some staying power right here at those old kind of volume levels. And this is an old school spot. If you notice, we had Bitcoin dominance prove 57.2 as a hardcore support in September of 2020 before taking off once again because we had an alt season fake out. much bigger of an alt season fake out than even December of 2024. Where we're at right now, I think we're going to have turbulence in Bitcoin dominance, might have Bitcoin take a turn to pump to the upside. But ETH is holding steady, very steady at previous all-time highs. ETH is looking very steady. So this word from Jack Mallers has been mentioned. I want to kind of read through it, get your guys' opinion, what you think about it. But ETH Bear, Jack Mallers, been wrong since day one, are now claiming that ETH treasuries are a bad idea because they say ETH is not a store of value. No, I kind of actually agree with that. Given how consistently, ETH is more like gasoline or oil that you have to use to get smart contracts complete, to get those things complete. That's how I view it, at least. It's a utility. Now, given how consistently wrong their past predictions about ETH have been, it's worth asking why anyone would trust them now. Here are the predictions versus reality, so that ETH would never be reliable. ETH uptime 100% since launch. Bitcoin at that 99.99%, right? Smart contracts would never work. Now we have the state-led rollout of stable coins, treasuries, real-world assets, real estate industry looking to get in, fucking test beds of DeFi. A government-led DeFi summer, DeFi decade is not going to surprise me at this point with what I'm seeing. No real use cases, what they said about meaningful adoption. Wrong. Ethereum now secures over 1 trillion in value across ETH stablecoins, etc. So just many points that were proven wrong. I understand Bitcoin maxis though, and you know what? If I just met someone and they were from last cycle and they still hold some tokens that I was really shocked they held still. But if you're not constantly paying attention to the narrative, how things are changing in crypto, then you will fall victim to holding a project that goes just down and to the right once the bear market really takes hold. We got a good question here from Morgan Powell. Bigger gains from here, Render, Ondo, or Aerodrome, he's asking here. And shout out for the super chat, $1.99 super chat. Dude, I got to go with Aerodrome. Like, Ondo does have some big news coming up for it, though. Ondo is no slouch. It's staying relevant, and it's actually got a pretty big announcement coming up over the course of the next 7 days, you guys. This is the launch of their U.S. markets going global. Ondo Global Markets going live in 7 days. Now, what Ondo is doing is trying to tokenize Wall Street. Wall Street is no small setup, no small organization, no small market cap to tokenize. It's going to take time. It's going to take testing, and it's going to have to assure that things roll out smoothly. Ondo, though, I do feel like has good narrative, good upside potential. It definitely seems to drive to the upside and downside on its own tune. But my God, it has ran into that Hillary Clinton glass ceiling that we all know so well at $1 and just got smacked down from that point. We actually probably should go look at the money flow of Ondo and see some of the inner workings of how price, the organism of price is actually moving within Ondo on the underside here. So here's Ondo. We've got a series of higher lows. Really, where we're at with this, I think I can understand why people are concerned because you kind of look like whiskey dick right here. I mean, low key, you got that whiskey. But I mean, we are showing good signs of support right here at the 80-cent mark. And a series of, new highs being developed all along the way. So let's actually go look at money flow. On the weekly, we're taking a little bit of a haircut. That fresh red weekly dot have been printed. It's only had 2 red weekly dots in its entire history. This momentum wave much smaller on the upside. Last time we printed that red dot, though, cause for caution here. We fell by Murphy, Mary, and Joseph 65% until you saw that risk on signal and that green dot flipping on once again. So something to keep in mind. It is definitely, in general, this trend line is something that I'm paying attention to. It's right on that trend line. If Bitcoin does start driving the markets for a week or two, though, you might see it kind of revisit and find if 60 cents is truly its support zone. you may find that. It's got the global markets rolling out very, very soon. But a lot of times, like, you get the global market rollout and things don't end up the way you hope on the chart side. So I hold on though. Just take a note. If I do see it at that 63-cent zone, I'll be an enticed buyer. I will be an enticed buyer. Like, there is no stopping crypto. And the reason why I know that there's no stopping crypto is because the government first chose to bash crypto, to turn it into this evil, anti-climate mess that was basically killing the planet. Now they've leaned into it, and now China is afraid of it. And it's, it can be argued that it's been known, but China's former central bank governor, not going to say your name, warns against stablecoin adaptation, warning they could undermine financial stability, per Bloomberg. Zhu argues that China's existing retail payment systems are already highly efficient and low cost. This is a translation. We don't want you to get out of our control. We don't want you to leave the controlling grip of the CCP and be able to transact freely. We want to make sure that we have all of your transactions within a government-based payment system. And this is where we're at this moment in time where the private sector is just clashing right with the governments that are in control, that are in power right now. It's a very fascinating time to be alive. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. Isaac, I'm going to run a quick thing here because we got to do this real quick, and I'll be right back here.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.
Oh yeah, made it back. We got a fridge.
Oh, yeah.
I had to get a drink. But I also had to emphasize it's very, very important to be your own bank and to exercise that power, because this creation of crypto is threatening powers that be that have literally turned this into a hyperinflationary hellhole for middle and lower class people that can't afford to pay for their own food and groceries, and they're at the behest of banks and governments. Crypto gives you that power and that opportunity to take it into your own hands. And I'm a sovereign man. I got to push that message forward as far and as wide as I can. Now, Aave Labs, probably going to be one of the bigger banks in the planet over the course of the next 10 to 20 years if it's allowed to keep prospering. New RWA lending markets are coming to it through Horizon. This is on Ethereum, and no shock there. It enables institutions to borrow stable coins against real world assets, right? So we're starting to see the frameworks built for borrowing, lending, representations of assets on chain that can then be turned into actual value that can be used in other investments. This is going to go insane. People are going to realize, market makers, huge investment firms are going to realize the potential here. I think we're just getting started with this, you guys. Solana DEX traders, though, starting to get a little quiet, okay? Solana DEX traders continue to decline amid a rise in meme coin scams. Now, I really don't think the scams are going to be enough to keep meme coin traders away forever. Isaac, you're a young lad out there.
Young lad who used to be stuck in a meme coin craze. Sorry, continue your question.
So, do you think the trenches are going to wake up the way that they did when we saw, the original Murad super cycle kind of conversation take hold? Because everything's been a little quiet ever since Libra. Trump token and Libra token came out. Things have gotten a little quiet. If you actually go to the dashboard, you can see a pretty sharp downturn, right? You can see the weekly trading volume on these DEXs. Very, very sharp downturn.
Weekly trading just went to zero.
I mean, it's very, very low. It's not quite zero. Yeah. And now here's where the weekly DEX traders are. And it is very, and this plays into drift. You see drift pumping while this is happening. Does that make you concerned about drift, or how do you take this info?
Well, Drift is competing with Radium and what's the other one? I don't know why I can't think of it.
Jupiter.
Jupiter, yeah. It's one of those top competitors, so I don't think it's going to have like it's not really. I'm not scared for Drift to do poorly because of this, especially because you just saw what 22% yesterday. It's up 5% still on today. It's doing good while the market is genuinely kind of stagnant. So in terms of being scared of people not using Drift and Drift going down, no, I'm not scared about it. If we're talking about trading meme coins, though, you see, I mean, Pump Swap, nobody. Where you don't really see Metora. I've never heard of that before. No one's going to use these things that aren't really popular and haven't been put into the limelight. And I mean, you have, if we're still talking about Drift here, Drift has partnerships with Ondo. You're not going to really see anything that's partnered with Ondo to, do poorly, in my opinion. Obviously, like Jacob said, tread lightly. No, I'm not scared. We're gonna wake up here soon enough. We are currently awake on Drift, that's for sure. So yeah, shout out.
Well, I just want to add, because the conversation about Solana is so nuanced. I think Crypto Steve-O, he's got a great head on his shoulders, huge supporter of the channel. And I really liked his write-up I saw last night. Technically, the bull market has been on since we bottomed in November of 2022. And that's, given our favorite blockchains, nearly 3 years to build out and scale. If they haven't reached the top 8 or 9 in user and revenue metrics by now, they won't by the end of the cycle. Something that was very, very interesting is that this revenue comparison, Solana brings the revenue to the table. Like, yes, we saw a pullback, but the revenue definitely does make a stand, for Solana. It's got all of the back and forth on how many transactions are gamed and all those different things, but actually seeing the revenue come alongside the transactions, it makes you take it pretty seriously. It does make you take it pretty seriously. So that's, and Solana on top of that, it's an American-based project. We're probably going to see some integrations with it. And, some of the leftover, the people wondering where the hell are we at this table of chosen blockchains, the XR people. Shout out to you in the chat.
You are banned!
God. What was that? Who got that?
You're banned! I was Papa Goose.
Oh, okay.
Right? You can see his chat if you look in the StreamYard.
Yeah. Oh my God! Wow! Whoa!
Banned to the pits.
Okay. Well, XR people got banned here.
Good.
XRP has left you behind.
Says he's no longer going to assist the community of XR people, calling it exit liquidity for insiders. Ripple holders provide nothing new of value to the industry except exit liquidity for insiders, thus are not worth supporting. These are pretty brutal words. Likewise, oh my God, he threw Cardano, Pulse Chain, Hedera in there. Damn.
See, I liked Zach XBT before. I like him even more now.
Man, he's going after it there. Woo. He's putting Pulse Chain right next to Cardano and Hedera.
DZ, we need a response. DZ, are you okay?
Facts. Big facts there. Where is DZ? Where's the White Knight? Now, don't worry, XR people. Your savior has shown up, and she comes in the form of an OnlyFans girl. Okay?
Oh, yeah. You're definitely going to fucking zero.
We're going in.
Need help. Okay. Investing. Don't know what to do, what it is, but I need help. I need help.
Okay, so I would recommend, so me personally, I have 1.3 million in XRP. So right now it's about $2 and something cents, but the community knows that when I know it will bump up to $10, I'm going to be basically set for life. So I would highly recommend buying XRP. Why are you crying?
What the hell did you just say?
XRP. It's.
I couldn't even understand what X could even stand for.
It doesn't stand for anything. It's just like XRP doesn't stand for anything like explicitly. It's just like
I'm screwed. Crypto men come this way. Help me.
Just put money into XRP and then you're set for life.
Put my money in it.
Or just spend it all. Whatever you want to do.
Well, will the IRS come after me if I they won't come after me if I do that?
You haven't paid
tax. This is where we stop the conversation.
What if I had my money in this XPR stuff? Right?
Yeah, you're right. Just do that.
Need help.
That's retail. That's retail right there for you. You know, XRP, I will say the one thing that it definitely has going for it and will continue to have going for it is unit bias. I was talking to a fellow yesterday, or actually, no, that was today. You know, it's people are gonna come into crypto, they're gonna go to CoinMarketCap or Coinbase, whatever crypto app they're using. They're gonna go to what's the top 10, right? They're gonna look at the top 10. They're going to go here. They're going to see Bitcoin's over $100,000. That's too expensive. This one's too cold. This is at 4,500. This one's just right. XRP at $3. And it's the third biggest, right? That's just the mindset of people new to crypto. They're going to fall into that. In XRP, it's got an insane amount of people that are probably literally never going to sell it. And it will hold. It will hold. It will probably pump to a degree. Now, where it goes after altcoin season kind of comes to a close, I think is lower. I don't think XRP is gonna grow out to. Oh God, here what happened?
No, I'm being serious. Okay, if you have $1.3 million, like just sitting there and you don't need to use it for whatever reason, and it's not in Bitcoin, you're doing something wrong. You could buy a couple Bitcoin with that much money. Obviously, Bitcoin's at 112,000, and then that money's gonna
preservation, right?
Exactly, and then that could double and triple, and just keep hodling and keep adding to that position. But no, you had to do $3 XRP. Ripple dumps on your head. You're scamming yourself out of real money.
Such a hard choice. It's a hard conversation because I feel like XRP is gonna pump. There's a lot of people painting targets on that $10 XRP token.
Not happening. $10 is not happening.
I mean, it's got to hit near $1 trillion market cap to make that happen, right? So it's got to be very, very huge to make that happen. That's just, you know, some of the gripes behind it, but honestly, it's going to be around. It's worth $170 billion. They can make choices and change up their initiative if they choose to do so. This is also a crazy story. Look at this. Universal has launched Pump on Aerodrome, with the U Pump joining the growing list of U assets. Exposure to Pump.fund without leaving base through this Universal portal. Now Pump is on Aerodrome. This is crazy. You know, we are streaming to Pump right now. I will say Solana trenchers, they're a different breed. They want the bag immediately. You know, they expect the show to stop running every single day. No one can fathom that someone's actually trying to do a show on Solana SocialFi other than, you know, just pump and dumpers, basically. It's an interesting experiment. I'm in there. I put a tweet about it on my X account. You can go check it out if you want. But I'm running a little experiment. It's a chaotic experiment. Maybe, you know, Solana will end up growing up a channel. Maybe if I keep showing up, I can build out a channel on Pump Fund too. I'm testing it out and seeing how it goes here. Seeing how it goes. You guys just carpet bombed XRP. Why? What did we do?
Hell yeah. I'll do it day in and day out. I don't care.
I mean, we're saying pretty reasonable things here, you know? And that's where the whole conversation, like, you lose the ability to communicate with maximalists of any degree. Bitcoin maxis, XRP maxis, Cardano maxis, Chainlink maxis, right? And I fall victim to being a maxi of Bitcoin and Chainlink, and I have to reel myself back sometimes on those things. But, you know, there's room for growth in many, many of these different sectors. As we see, the U.S. government is literally trying to tokenize the entire U.S. market. There's going to be multiple winners in this process. And another one of those winners, I've seen good growth in terms of TVL and value on its chain, Morpho. Morpho is currently at about $2.20, I believe. But I am seeing some really good growth in terms of CBBTC, wrapped Bitcoin on Morpho. So let's go on ahead and check this out. We got to watch what's going on. Chainlink top winner. It's only barely up. Morpho has actually been rolling downhill. It's down 7% on the week. Right here at that $2.10 spot. And you know what? I'm going to keep snooping around for that bounce point because I feel like the nasty bounce point is right here in this $1.90 to $2.10 spot for Morpho. I'm looking for that bounce, but I am seeing something that doesn't need to bounce or any help is the collateral of assets, right? Collateral value in USD on Morpho is absolutely up into the right, breaching $2.1 billion of Coinbase wrapped Bitcoin on Morpho. Now, the Coinbase wrapped Bitcoin market cap in total is 6.2 billion. So Morpho is coming in and nearly swallowing up a third of that total wrapped Bitcoin supply. That is making me feel nice and cozy about the outlook for Morpho. I think the building is still going on there, still looking good. Is Kea still dropping? Let's go actually look at Kea. Let's go look at Kea. I know you guys mentioned Kea a lot to me here. I'm looking at your stuff for you here. I'm doing you just a favor. Falling right into this pocket here. Guys, support basket's basically 60 cents. Yeah, and it's very new, so we only have one kind of run up and run down data point to work with here. But, you're going to have a lot of interest right here at that 70-cent mark. That is a hard line in the sand. Kea loses that, boys and girls. It is a quick ride down to those pre-exploratory levels in 40-cent range. There is no volume here. It's literally just teleported up to nearly $1. So be cognizant of that. I know there's a lot of rumblings and potential integrations with Visa, and there's a lot of things that you could, dig into and speculate on with Kea. The chart tells me that you're at a make or break moment. Losing that mark you're at right now is a quick ride to the 40-cent range. Potentially the moment where I decide to YOLO in. Oh, God. This is the emergency that might be coming up for the Federal Reserve this week. Lisa Cook emergency hearing scheduled for 10 Friday morning. I'm assuming 10 a.m. Friday morning. This is going to be a little nuts. I'm not going to be trading around this time. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to see what happens with it. I'm not going to blow up my bag. I'm not going to freak out about it. And, really what I think is going to happen is the Federal Reserve is going to be forced into a season of monetary easing. I think that it's a forced season of monetary easing. They're having to acknowledge a weak labor force, but also they're having to ignore the return of inflation. They're going to lower the rates. Inflation goes ballistic. A return of 70s to 80s stagflation, right? I think in short, that is what we're going to see. Risk assets going to the moon, your dollar's buying power going to zero, and people that are left without paying attention to what's going on right now, left in the dust to deal with the aftermath. And that's why it's so important to do this every single day, to cover what's going on in the world so that we don't end up destitute. And speaking of destitute, this is a side truth note. I saw this message from Danish here on X, and I've had a couple shows I've hosted with Danish on Mario Nafal. He put this out: young men are not okay. They're underemployed, celibate, and depressed. The deck is stacked against young people, but it is especially bad against young men. The unemployment rate for young men 16 to 24 is nearly 11%. That's absolutely insane. Across all age groups, more men than women in their prime working years are unemployed. What the hell? This is the exact opposite of what you expect to see in a healthy society. And then you go in even further. Oh, look, 8 out of $25 is trending.
I'd kill myself.
8 out of $25 is trending. Like, I'm a bull on 8 out. This is it's trending, dude. Thousands of people are saying, and this is the groupthink mentality. They're like, "Hoo, we did it. Yeah. Top signal, maybe. Honestly, top signal, maybe. Now, I don't think Cardano's going to $25. I do not think that. I think Cardano's slated for like $5, maybe $7 if in a bull market. In a kind of diminished expectation, $3.54. Still good upside. But I'm not sitting here beating the walls for $30 Cardano. That's how you end up being a bag holder. That's how you end up round tripping your bags back into hell. When the altcoin season stops, when the lights turn off and no one's speculating, you have to take profits. You have to set goals for yourself. Take profits when the profits are there. For the love of God, we're not in here to get back rubs from other community members of whatever shitcoin we're holding, right? That's not the point of crypto. The point of crypto is to change your life forever. Exercise the power that you have within decentralized finance, be it lending, be it custody, being your own bank. There are so many opportunities in crypto. I just hope that every single one of you are taking advantage of them. Isaac, how you liking the new spot? How you liking the setup?
Dude, it's beautiful. I have to do some cord management. That's about it. I got to get some more stuff on these shelves behind me. Other than that, it's a beautiful setup. It's a beautiful office. Oh, whoa! Kelly Kellum's in here
I know.
now.
Wild Kelly Kellum.
Yo, what's up, Kelly?
Wild Kelly Kellum.
Oh, he just teleported.
We're having fun in here. We're setting up the new studio. It's a good time. I love and appreciate every single one of you out there. Glad to have you back on the show, Isaac. I know you've been busy moving things around, and also you got to get a casting couch for Steve-O. You know,
no, don't. He's going on the roof.
Yeah.
Crypto Cody,
You are banned!
and
this is deteriorating quickly. All right, I love and appreciate every single one of you out there. We'll be back tomorrow, obviously, and you know, just with everything going on, just remain based, you guys. Remain based. There is upside, but you know what? Profits never go wrong. Never go wrong with profits. I love and appreciate you guys. I'll see you later. Peace out.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the